All we need to smile at each other, wish for your brother, help one another. All we need is love. All we need to honor our mother, shelter our sisters, all to exist.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahillazi hadana lihaza wa ma kunna linahtadiya laula an hadana Allah. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. My dear chairperson Erna, dear sisters, I've been kind of dreaming to meet you all, and alhamdulillah we are here. Well, I would like to address dear brothers and sisters, not just sisters, right? But it's okay. I guess this is today the sister session, and we shall actually capitalize on it. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah, the Great, the Almighty, for this opportunity. I'm sorry I cannot see the sisters over there. But I guess, this topic most probably is a kind of good topic to visit, because at the end of this year, before you start embarking into 2012, and of course we just had our Muharram recently, but basically as what the summary in the program book, this is about you and me. Okay? Why this topic? Are you all settled? You don't have to write or whatever, just enjoy this lecture. Alright, please. I'll try to finish by 45 minutes and we can have a lot of discussion. While preparing this, I have a few things in my mind. How many of you are not from Malaysia? Can you put up your hand? Okay. Alright. How many of you are my friends in my FB? Friends of Dr Harlina Halizah. Okay, thank you. Hi friends. Okay. You have to meet me. We better hug, okay? Alright, thank you so much. Well, when I'm preparing this, I have to consider a lot of things. But since most of you are Malaysian, so I would like to request and from my non-Malaysian sisters that most probably the tone that the intonation that I'm going to speak today would somewhat customize to the Malaysian situation. But I'm sure it is also applicable to your country and your society and environment. If not, then I think that's where the talking and the discussion point. So these are the content. Why this topic? Women in the eyes of Allah, where do they stand? But I guess everybody knows this, isn't it? We've been kind of told about this. But let us look at women in the eyes of today's world, the reality. And then women in the eyes of men. Okay, so that is another thing that we have to look. Of course, because this is an empowerment session, so empowering women, the best model. What is the best model? And the way ahead. Can we agree on this topic? Okay, for those who are going to speak in public, remember this is your very important slide, because you would tell who you are from there, and this is the second most important slide, the content. Any one of you who look at this content and said, alamak, I know all this lah, there's nothing new, then you can actually decide to walk out of this room. And I actually, I don't feel hurt at all. Because you'll be just wasting your time here. But if you feel that there is something in that lines, in that bullet, that you really want to know more, then you actually want to sit here, then that's a mutual understanding that you are going to sit there quietly and listen to me. Okay? Don't talk to each other, because that would not be quite respectful, and so this is actually the agreement, okay? Alright. Well, sisters, let us reflect and relook and revisit this big basic question. We have asked this, I hope, I hope all of you have asked this question. For those who haven't, then this is the best time to ask. Okay? When do you actually ask this question? When you are in your adolescence, the age of reasoning. Sera, whatever will be, will be. So that is the time where you ask, who am I? Yeah? And who created me? What is the purpose? The main purpose of my existence, my present here in Malaysia as Harlina Halizah, born in 1966. You know, if I actually can really choose, I would like to be born in the day of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when I told my husband, I said, yeah, and then you'll be Hindun. I said, oh, okay, and then I'm fine. I'm fine here, okay? Now, why am I here? Well, why am I here? First, why am I here in this world now? Why am I here in this twins of faith? Why am I here as a woman? These are questions we have to keep on asking. And where will I go after my death? All of us will go away. Have you seen anybody who stay on? Yeah? On and on and on, who has found the fountain of youth, the elixir of forever life? Yeah? We seem to be going there most probably. We try not to age. Yeah, because aging seems to be such a dreadful thing to do and to have. The first wrinkle on your face this morning, I said, that's it. I'm not going to the twin of faith because somebody might see my wrinkle. Goodness gracious. Yeah? Be proud. So, well, now, of course, we are human beings and we are made up of all these four entities. Don't forget, we are encompassed in the big circle of being a social animal. I'm sorry to use that word, but we cannot live alone. Any one of you who wish to live alone, then you can find an island and just stay there. Do whatever you like. But when you want to stick together like this, you need to be considerate. Yeah, those sisters who are down there, yeah, and those sisters who are sitting, you might see sisters who are starting to have numbs, you know, because their blood circulation is now being occluded. Then you might, you want to sit up here, yeah. And for those who might be my size, sitting down there is really not a good idea. Yeah? So you better give up the chair, yeah, to those who really need it. So this is actually being human. Yeah, your body, your heart, your mind, and your soul. Any one of you have less than this? You might be from Mars or, from Venus. Yeah? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Children are from heaven, having had to live on earth. So that's where the trouble is. So this is what we are. And who created us? Of course, we know this. We have been sort of told about this. It's so obvious that Allah is the one who created us. And He's not just creating us just that. Yeah? And in Al-Hujurat, verses 13, Allah has said, Ya ayuhan nas, Allah called, all mankind. We have created you male and female and have made you nations and tribes. Yeah? Why? Lita'arafu, so that you know each other. Have you asked the sister who sits next to you? No, isn't it? I don't speak to this kind of women. So now, okay, look at the friends next to you, especially the one, ask her, what's her name, where does she come from? Okay, 2 minutes, go, do that. If you know those on your right and your left, you're the one at the back and in front. Okay, bus session. Alright. Now. I'm afraid I have to give you 2 hours. Okay, sisters. How many of you need more time? Put up your hand. Okay, now. I'm just in the middle of this ayah, okay? I haven't finished yet. Okay. Now, in this beautiful ayah, Allah said, okay, the one who is the most noble among you is the one with the best conduct. Not the one with the best dress, not the best makeup. The most ideal body weight. I'm out, yeah. Most probably, the one who smells the best. No. Allah said, the one of you are the best of you are the one with the best conduct. Yeah? And of course, Allah knows that. How fortunate we are that Allah put this as His benchmark, rather than maybe, the fair skin, or maybe the most beautiful, or the ideal body weight, then of course we are not starting off from the same level and ground. Yeah? Of course, the purpose of human existence, I make sure my Usrah group memorize this. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Such a short ayah, because this is the main reason why we are here. Allah said, I created not the jinn and mankind. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ. If stops there, then we are not around. None of us will be around. But the only sole purpose is for us to worship Allah. If we are not going to worship Allah, we will worship something else, because that is what we are. We are born, we are wired, we are made up of substances that need to submit. So if you don't submit to Allah, you submit to others. You submit to your parents, most probably. You submit to your career. You submit to yourself. Every time you look at the mirror, gosh, how beautiful I am. That kind of thing. You submit to the man in your life. And when you submit to other than Allah, then you will become a slave. But when you submit to Allah, you will be His exalted servant. You serve Him. Okay? So that is one. Now, beside that, we have another very important duty. That is to represent Allah, being His vicegerent, Khalifatul Ard. Because that is the main methods or modality as to how you're going to serve Allah. By representing Allah and manage this world, manage yourself, manage the people around you as how Allah wants it. Okay? So very simple, very simple. How do I serve you, Allah? Allah said, be my representative on this world. But if you actually serve others, I'm afraid this is a duty that you will not be able to do. Now Allah is our main focus, being the creator of the universe. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin. I'm sure every day you recite this, but you do not know this comes from Al-An'am. That's how illiterate we are with the Quran. Okay, this is coming from verse 162, 163, Al-An'am. Okay, sister, so Allah is our main focus. Whatever comes beside that, okay, but Allah is my main focus. You might be married to the worst man on earth, like Asya, who is married to Fir'aun. But it did not actually change her. You might be married to the Prophet of Allah, but that doesn't mean you will also go to the Jannah with him, like the wife of Nabi Lut. You might not be married to any man like Maryam, but still Allah put you high above other women. So, okay, no string attached. Alright? I'm free. You feel the burden is start to ease. Women in the eyes of Allah, in the eyes of God, where do they stand? I have been involved in a lot of interfaith discussion talking about this topic. And I always choose to be the last one. After hearing what the Christian has to say about this topic, the Buddhist, the Hinduism, I feel so thankful to Allah to stand after all those input to say that in the eyes of Allah we stand tall and proud. Okay? Because Allah has said it repeatedly, and this is one of the ayah, Mafhum, whoever works righteousness, man or woman, and has faith, verily to him or her will we give a new life, and life that is good and pure, and we will bestow on such their reward according to the best of their action. Allah will not see who you are, whether you are a man or a woman. This morning when I'm praying behind my husband, well, it doesn't mean that, if I actually had a better focus, concentration, khusyuk, as compared to my husband, then it reached Allah and I say, whose salah is this? Halina? Oh, she will have half of what her husband has. Oh, no. Okay? So, we have spiritual equality in the eyes of Allah. Okay, those who are already sleeping, can you just open up your eyes, look at this spiritual equality, and you can go to sleep again, because this is the most important message, spiritual equality. that each and every one of us, men and women, will be judged by Allah according to our deeds. Yeah? And this is another mafhum ayah from Ali Imran 195. And their Lord has accepted of them and answered them, never shall I suffer to be lost the work of any of you, be he male or female, you are members one another. Within the sphere of life, we are all urged, encouraged, recommended to educate ourselves. That's what you are doing now. Yeah? And to act upon your knowledge, not just to consume it, but you have to really act upon it and to convey it to others. That is the whole circle of knowledge. You don't just keep things to yourself. You feel so, you feel so full. Yeah? But no, yeah? Knowledge is something that you have to give, and then it will come back, right? So, and of course, this is an instruction that is for everybody, men and women. Allah regards women and men as equal partners in family life, community and nation building. And of course we know about all this. And particularly in the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, no widow should be married without consulting her, and no virgin should be married without her consent. So, well, this is the time where I just, reflecting and refreshing all your previous knowledge. Yeah? Well, we are different, yet equal and special. Yeah? وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنْثَى إِنَّ سَعْيَكُمْ لَشَتَّى. Yeah? By Him who created male and female, certainly your effort and deeds are diverse. I do not want to be a man. And I'm not going to use man as my benchmark. Whatever man has, I must have. Whatever man can do, I must do. Why? They are not my benchmark. Okay? Because I have my own benchmark, which is actually in the eyes of Allah. And this is where we must be different from the feminists. Because the feminist radicalists are always whining, complaining, very angry. With this, when men can do that, why can't we? Ar-rijal qawwamun an-nisa. I'm fine with that. Men is the protector and maintainer. They are not my leader per se, my chief. My chief of order, my CEO, everything I must say according to what man says. No. But they need to protect and maintain me, fine. And this happened in my household. Even if I'm as rich as, who? Bill Gates. I don't think so. The dictators of the world are the richest, isn't it? Yeah? Even if I'm as rich as that, it's my husband who has to feed me. And if he can actually bring home, just a bowl of rice and maybe some anchovies, ikan bilis, yeah? That will be my meal for the day. But of course, being Bill Gates, I wouldn't be so stingy, right? But I'm fine with that. Why? Because there must be an order in the family, and I relinquish. But it's definitely collective leadership. There are times where my husband has to follow me, because I have more skill, I have more knowledge, and I have more experience in that. And in certain circumstances where he has all that, then I will follow him. The children will follow. This is the collective leadership that we must have, because this is where the ayah comes from. That you have to see that we are equal in terms of the building of ourselves and our society. The sacred position of mothers. Yeah, we know this. A man came to Rasulullah ﷺ and asked, "Oh Rasulullah, who of mankind is most entitled to the best of my companionship? Your mother, then who your mother, then who your mother, then who your father." Okay? Of all the rights of women, the greatest is to be a mother. Alright? For those who are already mothers, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah? For those who are going to be future mothers, inshallah. Even if you're not going to see marriage, I heard about the marriage session. Yeah, there's a lot of packed room, but again, as usual, the sisters. Yeah, where are the brothers? Yeah, okay, but it's okay. Yeah, it is actually from our uterus, our womb, that we will start to produce good men. Well, I'm not saying that our mothers has failed, but no. But obviously, we have to start taking our motherhood role very, very seriously. This is a quotation from Lin Yuteng. Women in the eyes of today's world, the reality. So I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist. So I'm going to actually look from my eyes as to how the today's world looking at women. And I hope I'm not going to bore you to death with all the statistics. I'm going to make it very simple. This is the Millennium Development Goal, which was launched in 2000, September 2000 by the Secretary of General then, Kofi Annan. We are committed as the citizen of the world to achieve these 8 goals. Millennium Development Goals. Sisters, please. It's very embarrassing when they say, MDG, what MDG? So that's one of the things that you should actually gain when you come to session like this is, an expansion of your knowledge, of your general knowledge. So this is the Millennium Development Goals that we need to achieve. Number 5 is particularly on women, improving maternal health. You might be wondering, why does it have to be a goal among all the many goals in the world? But it is actually becoming one of the important goals. And when MDG 5 addressed solely on improving maternal health, it is also trying to achieve other goals by improving the woman's health. So this is really kind of a victory for women for having one goal specifically for mothers. And the goal is actually to reduce maternal mortality, death due to pregnancy, childbirth, or delivery. So this is actually the main thing that we are focusing, because this is where you can see how women is being treated and their children in the society. So this is the risk of dying from pregnancy and childbirth. All developing countries, either in Africa, Asia, or Latin America, every 48 women, 1 will die. That is how you read it. But in all developed countries, like in the European and the North American countries, states, you will have like 1 in 1,800. In order to find one mother who died, you have to sort of go through 1,800 mothers. Can you understand this? Some of you looking at the figures, that's it. I failed my mathematics. So this is definitely not my cup of tea. No. This is very simple actually. Now the next question, as a medical student then, I asked myself, why is this so different? They're just women. In fact, in the developing countries, women are serving their primary role as wives and mothers. But of course, in the developed countries, women become professionals, women become lawyers, doctors, become administrators. But why is it in the countries where women serve their primary role, they are having this? They are dying out of birth, delivery, and pregnancy. And why is that allowed? So that question, that's how the feminist in me comes in. There must be something there. Every minute, you've been sitting here with me for about 10-15 minutes. Every minute, 380 women become pregnant. Some of you might just test the urine pregnancy test this morning. It's either, Alhamdulillah, ya Allah, I'm pregnant, or oops, not again. But 380 women become pregnant every minute. 190 face unplanned or unintended pregnancy. 110 women will experience a pregnancy-related complication. It can be hypertension, diabetic, anemia, you name it, they have it. 40 women would have an unsafe abortion. The next question is there any safe abortion? All right. And 1 woman dies from a pregnancy-related complication. When a mother dies, the whole family dies. It's a tragedy. For those who might have, your mother is no longer around, you know what I'm talking about. When a mother dies, the whole family dies. Now, this is another busy slide, but I just want you to see the reality. The Millennium Development Goal will actually end in 2015. That is where they are going to measure again, where the maternal mortality drops 1/3 of whatever that has happened. 3/4, sorry. So this is the maternal mortality in 1990s. This is in sub-Saharan Africa. This is our sisters in Chad, in Somalia, in Sudan, in Niger. 920 mothers die every 100,000 live birth. This is how we measure. For every 100,000 babies that is being delivered, 920 mothers die. That is in 1990. And this is the place where it is not 100,000 live birth every year. It is might be times 5 or times 6 of that number. And so 920 you have to multiple. Do you understand me? Yeah, okay. Now where are we? We are in South Asia, yeah? 650, this is Indonesia and Bangladesh maternal mortality actually. Malaysia is about 300 or 150 at that time. Yeah? Oh no, even lower, sorry. Yeah? So, but all in all, 650 mothers die every 100,000 live birth. You might be wondering, why do we expand the ratio to 100,000 live birth? Because in Europe, you know, for every 100,000 live birth in 1990, only 58 women died. So if you actually reduce, for those who still remember mathematics very well, if the denominator is being, let's say for 10 or 100 live births, then what is going to be the death rate in Europe? 0.00058 deaths? What is that? You know? But it is so starkly different, and it's so contrast. So, okay then, in 2007, 2008, they had a midterm review. What happened to this country? Sad to say, our sisters in Chad, in sub-Saharan Africa, still about 900 maternal mortality per 100,000 live birth, where they should be ranging around here, around 450. And in 8 years more to come, oh no, not really 8, this is just 4 years to come, they have to reach 230. Do you think they are going to reach that? No way. Look at the European country. You know, they started out with 58, but in 2015 they should be 15. Can you imagine that? But then when they had this midterm review in 2007, they are following that straight line, you know. They are there, at 43. Now Malaysia, we are doing quite well, in South Asia with our neighbor country, but definitely we have to reach here. Okay, enough, huh? Okay. Mother's Index. This one, every 1 week prior to Mother's Day, SaveTheChildren.org, an NGO that concerned about child's welfare, would come up with Mother's Index. Why? So, well, after all that explanation, I guess you're not surprised to see this. The top 10 countries, the best places to be a mother is definitely the European country, the Scandinavian country. Norway has been number 1 since the year 2004 when this was introduced. Only in 2009 that they fell off second, and Sweden actually was up there. But in 2010 and 2011, they speed up again. So Norway, Australia. And the worst places to be a mother, bottom 10, those are the countries. If you look at that, out of that 10, 7 are countries of members of OIC, Organization of Islamic Conferences. So, okay, this is something that you don't choose, isn't it? You don't choose to live in Norway. You don't choose to be born in Niger. You don't choose to be born in Afghanistan. You don't choose to be born in Malaysia. Okay, so are you expecting the sisters in Afghanistan, in Niger to actually speak out for themselves? No, it must be you and me. Okay? So the sad reality, there's high maternal mortality rate in Muslim countries, high illiteracy rate, poor education for girl child, violence against women. You can can say about domestic violence, honor killing, female genital mutilation, so on and so forth. That's not my focus today. But let's look at the reason. It is because of the low average age of marriage. Illiteracy, poor contraceptive practice. I'm going into this is the grey area, the controversial. Of course we must put controversial kan, otherwise you all will be sleeping. Lack of prenatal care and obstetric complications. These are mainly the reason why we have high maternal mortality. Safe Motherhood is an initiative that is started by WHO, which outlined 4 pillars of safe motherhood. Number 1 is family planning. Planning your family. Number 2 is adequate antenatal care. When you are pregnant, then you have to see the doctor regularly. Thirdly, you have to choose a hygienic place for delivery. And number 4, where there should be essential obstetric care provided for all the women. Motherhood today must be by choice. All pregnancies should be planned, intended, and wanted. and not by accident. Oops, I'm pregnant again. Yeah? Unplanned, unintended, and most probably unwanted. I'm sorry, any one of your second child, second birth, second born? Kat tangan? I know some of you you just want to see whether this is good or bad. If it's good, then I put up my hand. If it's bad, fortunately I did not. Yeah. Well, if your gap or your spacing between you and your elder sibling is less than 2 years, there was a high probability that you were unplanned, unintended, yeah? But wanted lah, you know. That's why you are here. Okay. And for those who are mothers, yeah, more than 2 children, can you please reflect your second child? Yeah? Was she planned? Was he planned? Or was he an accidental baby? Until today when, you know, and you can see the vast difference because the child, yeah, starts from the day one when you actually realize that he or she is there in your uterus. The kind of treatment you're giving to that second child, yeah, second pregnancy, which is unplanned, unintended, is totally totally different than the first one. And now you complain. And now you say, you know, you're an accidental baby. And that's the main reason why they become the second child syndrome. Okay? Well, sisters, there's a vast difference between being wanted and being unwanted. It is like this. Yeah? And of course, we have to aim for all pregnancy to be planned, intended, and wanted. Is it too much to actually start off a human life, you know, with this? Because the unwanted pregnancy started off will actually end up with abortion, abandonment, acceptance, and adoption. And this is the consequences of unplanned, unintended, unwanted pregnancy, termination of pregnancy, concealed pregnancy, yeah, poor antenatal care, of course, even if the clinic is just in front of her house. We had one maternal death among the young, unwed mother. The clinic, Ibu dan Anak, the maternal child health clinic, is just in front of her rented house where she rent with her friends. But she never paid a visit there because the pregnancy was unplanned, unintended, unwanted. Marital disharmony, spousal and child abuse, child abandonment, neglect, and infanticide. These are all our problems. So we have this induced abortion, we have abandonment, neglect, we have murder, and this is mainly because we don't plan. Well, this is just looking back at contraceptive, percentage of contraceptive use, modern contraceptive, it's not the Ratu Jamu, Nyonya Menir, no, not that one, but this is actually the modern contraceptive. We look at chart where every 11 women, one will die, and Australia where 6,000 women, only then you will find one death, and that is actually the percentage of contraception. I'm not actually encouraging you or promoting this, I just want you to think, Now, there are something about unmet needs. What is unmet needs? A woman is said to have an unmet needs for contraception if she is fertile, she is sexually active, not using any contraceptive methods, and does not want a child for at least the next 2 years, or wants no more children because she already have 8 or 10. Okay? So this is unmet needs. Well, this is the classical example of unmet needs, from one of the sisters who wrote to me in my blog. My name is Anne, I'm 29, I have 3 children. I actually contacted her, and at that time she had not celebrated her 4th anniversary. So she hasn't been married for 4 years, not yet. But this is her problem. I had 3 kids. The eldest is 2 years, 11 months, a boy. Number 2 is a girl, 1 year, 5 months. And the third one is a boy, 8 months. All my babies were born through cesarean section in my government hospital, managed by my doctors who I train. So this is really a very sad thing. In Hospital Alustar, and also the third one is in HKL. Last March, I discovered that I'm pregnant again. I decided to abort it. And the question there, what do you think, doctor? I'm not angry with her. You put yourself in her shoes, and I'm just feeling very, very disappointed with myself because I haven't sort of train my daughters enough to realize what is this lady's need, her need. Now, safe motherhood, allow me to add another one, which is responsible manhood. Yeah? Men as husband, fathers, community, state leaders deciding whether mother's health is the top priority or not. Women in the eyes of men. It depends solely on how you look at yourself, ladies. It depends very much on how you view yourself. Okay? Stop complaining, stop blaming, stop accusing others as to how people treat you. But ask yourself first, how do you treat yourself? Women are like cucumbers. Ibarat mentimun, tergolek luka, bergolek pun luka. I'm sorry, some of you might have heard this umpteen time from me, but I'm going to say this again. From my sisters who is non-Malaysian, I think you can ask the next sister next to you what I just said, but this is actually the kind of saying that I was in Harvard earlier this year and I was asked to translate that. Women are like cucumbers. We get scratched when we are rolling on our own or being rolled. I think that's okay, isn't it? Yeah, if we are rolling, you get scratched, because your skin is just so fragile, isn't it? Yeah, and even if, what more if somebody actually crush you? Okay, so are we like this? And who are men? Men are like the king of the fruit, the durian. Yeah, bergolek tergolek tak meninggalkan kesan. Let me translate that. Yeah, men are like durian, the king of the fruit. They will not be scratched, even if they are rolling on their own or we roll them, they are going to be intact. But this is where the smart lady comes in. Can I ask what type of durian is that? Okay. How about this? Okay. All right. This is our sop, yes, but in Malay term this is called durian Belanda. So if it's really this durian, this copper durian tembaga, I think I can accept that. But not this one, not this one. This is, if it's so ripe, you can just, it would not even roll. Well, how about this? When this cucumber, which is so, scratchy, but if you sliced it this afternoon and you serve it with sambal tempoyak, which is made from durian, you can see how we actually just tenyeh, well, we can just, So I guess, let us put all this analogy out of the window. How about this? Women are like burning candles. Ibu. During Mother's Day and Teacher's Day. Ibu, guru, kau ibarat lilin. Membakar diri, menerangi orang lain. You are like the burning candles. You burn yourself to bring lights to others. Well, even as a child, as a school child, I always had problem with that. I said, why must I be a candle? If you go and buy this blackout candle, it's about 6 inches long. And okay, if suddenly we are in pitch dark, we can have, all of us can have that 6 inches candle. But as long as, at the end of that wick, it will just flicker out. And if you put it on the table, what is left is this very nuisance, good for nothing, sticky. You want to be this? Of course no. There's obvious gap between Islam's stand and perspective and position of women with the gender practices of Muslim today. Such a far cry. So shall we adopt the ostrich attitude then? We put our head in and say, no, in Islam, we should have this, we should have... Okay, brother, yes, we know that. But why is it not happening? We have to start asking that question. We must go on asking that question. Okay? So what is the best model to empower women? Of course, we have to go back to the Quran and Sunnah. And we know that we are actually created to worship Allah, not worship man. Yeah? When you put on your hijab, sisters, it's not for men. I hope none of you put up your hijab today because I do not want the brother to see my hair. Yeah? Because one single hair and he could not khushu in his salat, that's it. Come on. Yeah? You are not responsible to look after his iman. He has to look after it himself. We have to look after ours. And if by covering ourselves and we've been protected by Allah, it's because Allah protects us. When you wear your socks just now, is it because I do not want the brother to see my pinkish, beautiful heel? Otherwise, he might not have, he might get disorientated or whatever. Goodness gracious. No. I'm beyond that. I'm wearing this because Allah wants me to wear. When I was in state a couple of years back in Minneapolis, when I'm having my sabbatical, and one of my friends said, Halina, you can take off your hijab or your headscarf. Your husband is not here, your father is not here. And I said, what make you think that I'm wearing because of my husband or my brother? Or my father? I said, oh, you do not wear because of them? No. Why? Well, I don't blame my friend, because the Muslim physician who came before me was from the Middle East, and she was not wearing a headscarf. And of course that puzzled my friend, and he asked, why are you not wearing your headscarf like what you used to wear in your country? Oh, my husband is not here, my father is not here, my brothers are not here. Okay. So, come on ladies, you know what? When the Christian nun are wearing like us, they are serving God. They are devoting their life to God. But when we are wearing like this, we are devoting ourselves to men. So we are oppressed. Because that's what the feminists think. That's what the message you are giving to them. Now, those who are sleeping, this is the time when you wake up. Yeah? You need to see this slide and you can go back to sleep. Yeah? Alright. Now, the empowerment of the day of Rasulullah SAW was this. There's a baseline. This is the standard. This is the generation of the Quran, where the baseline is Islam, Iman, and Ihsan. And Rasulullah lowered the ego of those masters in the society. That they know they are not, unchallenged. Allah is greatest. But at the same time, He enhanced the izzah, the self-worth of those who were oppressed then. So you will have Bilal as a slave. Bilal was such a strong man, but he has the heart of a slave. But it's actually the empowerment of the Quran, when he got to know that he has only one God, and he keep on reciting Ahad, Ahad, he become a very strong person. And it's for the woman who suddenly see the worth, the Quran mentioning about them, Rasulullah keep on talking about them. Even Umar was saying, before the day of Islam, we ignored our women. But when the Quran kept on mentioning them, and the Prophet kept on reminding us about the women, then we realized the women are really important. So, we stand tall and proud in front of Allah. Remember this last sermon, oh people, khutbah wada. It is true that you have certain rights in regard to your women, but they also have rights over you. Remember that you have taken them as your wife only under Allah's trust and with His permission. If they abide by your right, then to them belongs the right to be fed and clothed in kindness. Do treat your women well and be kind of them, for they are your partners and committed helpers. And it is your right that they do not make friends with anyone of whom you do not approve, as well as never to be unchaste. This is in the last sermon, in the last khutbah Rasulullah still reminded men about this. Women is like a rib. Well, because this is an authentic hadith. A woman is like a rib. If you attempt to straighten it, you will break it. And if you benefit from her, you will do so while crookedness remains in her. Well, who says crooked is a bad thing? Okay, take this from a doctor. Yeah, if the bone has to be a rib bone, it has to be crooked. If you want to straighten a bone, then it cannot serve as a rib. It can serve as a femur, or a humerus, or the long bones of your limbs. But if you want it to be a rib, it has to be crooked of varying degree, so that it can be arranged so beautifully so that it become a rib cage. And what is the function of a rib cage? It is to protect the heart and the lungs, the two most important organs that make you living. So fine what? And who says crooked is bad? I'm sure the man who says women are crooked, they do not want their rib bones to be straightened. Okay? Well, the way ahead. Woman is like the sun. We are not cucumbers. We are not the candles. We are actually like the sun. This is the source of energy, at least for our solar system. And if you remember your physics well, energy never dies. It only transforms to another form. So let us be like the sun. Muslim women, silent no more. Speak up your mind. Voice out your opinions. Reclaim your exalted position in the society. This is what you have to do. And for this, you have to do it yourself. You don't expect people to put you there. Okay? It is such a waste for this 50% of world population called women are not being optimized in terms of the potential. But the potential is not just by going to work and have an 8 to 5 job. That's not your worth. You can be a wife, and I have a lot of admiration for sisters who choose to be in the house. Some of you are in the house because you don't choose to. You are being, forced to, and therefore it might not be, you might not be able to deliver the best because you are being forced. But to be honest, after 20 years of being a career woman, there are some of us who are really talented to be career women, but some of us are definitely very bad at that. For those, you know who you are, please stay at home. Do us a favor, stay at home. Honestly, stay at home. Because that is where your potentials are. You don't really have to go out. If I can choose, well, 2 weeks after I got married, I got this offer to sort of a place to further my study as an obstetrician and gynecologist. And I asked my husband then. So that's what we are. We are very empowered. But we know when we relinquish power. We are not forced to relinquish that power. We choose to. I choose to go by what my husband had to say. I can just say, okay, I'm telling you, I'm going to be an obstetrician and gynecologist. I don't care what you say. But I think there must be some, this is what the Quran says, there must be, because He's responsible on me. Okay, so I choose to go by what He said. So it's up to you now. If you say yes, then you have to bear with the training of being an ONG specialist. I will be staying in the hospital every 3 days and you will be at home alone. Okay? Or you can just say, no, you are supposed to look after me. Okay? And my children. So he was quiet for 5 minutes, and that was the longest 5 minutes of my life. Well, of course, I was very teary, I was crying, because deep in my heart, half of me say, please say no. And then I don't have to do this. Okay? And when in the day of judgment, when Allah say, Harlina, why are you not actually, really using up your potential and be an obstetrician and gynecologist? I said, no, I want to, but he did not allow me to. But then half of me say, please, my dear husband, Zawj Karim, please say yes, because somebody has to do this, and it has to be your wife. So he waited for 5 minutes, and he replied, with tears in his eyes, he said, I will say yes. And I said, are you sure? Yeah. And you know what is the consequence of saying yes to this? Yeah, I know. That 5 minutes, I was trying to find one good reason that I can tell Allah when He asked me if I say no, and He asked me, why on earth were you not allowing your wife to be an obstetrician and gynecologist? I couldn't find any reason. I would like to say that she's my wife, she has to look after me, but I don't think that is a strong reason, because you don't belong to me, you belong to Allah. Because of that, I am here now, sisters, empowering you, inspiring you, motivating you. Okay? So reclaim your position. Of course, the Arab Spring. Well, if you are down or whatever, just click on the YouTube and see how these sisters were, and how you wish you can do the same. But you know that the person of the year, time put there the protester, and I could not have agreed more. And the beautiful picture is a woman. Okay, well, is she wearing niqab? I don't know, but they must have really discussed about who to choose as the person of the year for 2010-11. Of course, I have to mention our sister Tawakkul Karman from Yemen, who shared this Nobel laureate with 2 more women, and she started off Women Journalists Without Change. I would like to read this. I have always believed that resistance against repression and violence is possible without relying on similar repression and violence. I have always believed that human civilization is the fruit of effort of both women and men. So when women are treated unjustly and are deprived of their natural right in this process, all social deficiencies and cultural illnesses will be unfolded, and in the end, the whole community, men and women, will suffer. The solution to women's issue can only be achieved in a free and democratic society in which human energy is liberated, the energy of both women and men together. Our civilization is called human civilization, and it's not attributed only to men or women. Maybe we have to change history into something else. It cannot be history or her story. His story or her story. So this is what Sister Tawakkul has said, and I know there are so many future Tawakkul in the room. Alright? But you have to start charting your map now. Nobody is going to do that for you. You have to break this vicious cycle of poverty and poor health. The health disorders that our sisters are experiencing because of lack of care, lack of priorities, the poverty that they have to shoulder, the economic impact. We have to break this cycle, by education. Education saves life. Education actually will give you more opportunity to be more resourceful and industrious. And for that, we have to take our place. If women rule the world, there would be no wars. Just a bunch of jealous countries not talking to each other. Okay? And I don't think that's bad, isn't it? But of course, Sisters, the conclusion, Islam positions women in highly esteemed level, and to improve status of women, not just health in Muslim countries, there's a lot of intervention that must start from us. And Malaysia, I think, has to play a pivotal role because of you and me. We are in the best position, inshallah. So this is the annual meeting that I attended in 2005, 2006. We need more people to come over there. We need more people to sort of, be there and be the voice. Wallahu alam. So I guess that's all. I do not know whether that would actually achieve that objective just now. Am I running out of time? Or we can have Okay, we can have about 10 minutes for question and answer. I put this up, yeah, and you can actually see whether I have achieved the objective or not, yeah. Maybe I can handle it, just, okay. Anybody wants to ask anything? Yes, one. Is there a microphone? Ah, yes, okay. Can you introduce your name, sister, and where are you from?
Assalamualaikum, Doctor.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Halizah. I'm from Malaysian. My question is probably a bit not out of scope, but still in the same context.
Yes, please.
Okay, we know that women outnumber men nowadays, and we have women nowadays compared to men. And the society view unmarried women in some contexts, for example, Malay. So how do we, as single women, especially those that reaching 30s and over 30s, react to this?
Thank you. That's really a big problem. Is there anyone else who want to ask besides Azita? Okay, yeah. If you can come up, and then I can give, fair time to all the questions.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Dr Akademi from TVSUNNAH. Okay, I'm a medical student. Just finishing my family medicine posting. Okay. My experience is very limited, but from what I can share is that
It's okay. You are safe. You are among friends. So.
The divorce cases among the elderly couples are quite high in Malaysia. So my question is,
why is that so?
I don't know. Some claims that it has got something to do with men in their midlife crisis issue.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, that's one thing.
So you want to know my response to that? Why the divorce?
Whether it's true that these are the valid excuse for men to do that, and for women to bear with their reasons. I don't know. And the second thing is that can women really sustain on their own if they are to not get married? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Alright, okay. There is Akmal, Azita, and
Assalamualaikum. I come from the same institute from that yours. Okay. Okay. I have this question when I manage some PhD students. I mean adults. This is the issue of too dependent on their men. For example, some come from broken home, some come from husband leader for another woman, and that really depress them until they can't perform. But you were telling just now that we don't do for men, we only do for Allah. But how to make this mindset change?
okay, that is Mr. Norish. Okay, one more, and that will be hold on. That will be the first session, yeah. Maybe one more, yeah, and then you, sister.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shazni. I'm currently my second year in ONG Master's Program in UM. Thank you very much, Professor Hasbina, for accepting my question today. Today, I think there's a lot of talks about aspirations, and ultimately, everything that we do has to be lillahi ta'ala. So, my question specifically for you, in the sense that you're such a great figure as well as aspiration for us. How do you do it? How do you juggle? Yes, how do you juggle between career and your community needs? And I know that you are in an Islamic movement as well, and that takes a very long toll. And be at where you are today. In the process, okay, I know there's a leeway that your husband said, okay, I allowed you, but in the process, have you ever felt guilt to juggle with all of this aspiration, your aspiration for life, your aspiration, your religious aspiration, your career aspiration, your family and motherhood aspiration, where we know in Islam is a very essential and traditional role. So now, a lot of these questions, when I was younger, it was very...
How old are you?
Very... When I was a lot younger, when it's not so much complex and you don't attain so much responsibilities and you're so tied up with everything else.
You're married?
I'm single. Explains a lot. Yes. So you do not fathom the wisdom to whatever that we're talking today doesn't attain to, like Pak Hamid cakap, kalau ilmu tu bila sampai makna dan hati kan. So makna tu tak sampai, sekarang baru ada junction and you're thinking about it. So one is, have you ever felt guilt? How do you deal with that?
Yeah.
And do you ever felt that your aspirations are too many, too scattered, not focused? How do you come at peace that everything we do not have total control? And how do you keep it realistic with everything that I've said?
Alright, Shazni, thank you. I think I will answer Shazni first. Okay, sister, I will come back to you. I think that question is directly about me. That is the most common question. I was wondering when is this question coming, you know? So definitely you are the one who delivered it. Yeah, that is the most common question to be asked to me wherever I go. But let's say if this is an interview, a media interview, I will ask the journalist first. Have you ever asked this question to a man? How do you juggle and how do you balance your life being a father, a husband, and the CEO of this company? No, they will never ask that. Okay, but for women, we are always being judged like that. You know, if you are so successful as a CEO or whatever, what about the house? How about the husband? Yeah, I'm sure the husband is married 3 more wives. You know, that kind of thing. You know, and the word that you are using, how do you juggle and how do you balance? You see, juggling and balancing is what the clowns did in the circus. Yeah, so. First and foremost, Shazni, don't worry, my house is not like a circus, alhamdulillah. But don't visit my house now because my maid is not around, yeah? So anyway, coming back to this. Actually, sister, I have the same 24 hours like you and me. But most probably, I have decided what I want to do with my 24 hours. I have a very, very good reason not to be in the public domain, because I'm a very busy obstetrician gynecologist. I'm mother of 3. Yeah, I'm a wife. Yeah, the only wife so far. Not yet. I do not know in 10 years or 5 years time. But and I can always say, look, my family needs me. My husband needs me. I've done my part. I'm an obstetrician gynecologist. What happened to these other things? Well, somebody else should take it up. But look, my family is not my liability, Shazni. It's my strength. My husband is not my liability. I'm going to pin him down in front of Allah to say that he is the reason why I cannot perform. In fact, it is because of my family that I'm here. I have 3 beautiful kids that Allah has given me that I need to let go to this society. And so this society has to be the best that I can, you know, using whatever I have, in whatever position I am, so that it would be a society where my children can prosper, my children can contribute, and their children, and my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. And I can only try. But you know what, Shazni, the more you commit to that, you see, you know, there are so many doors opening. You're tired at the end of the day, but it's such a sweet tiredness. Yeah? You feel that, okay, Allah, another day, I'm going to use it. But if you see that today is my last day, then I will go back to you with whatever I've done. My family is not my liability. So sisters, whoever is actually using the family as the reason for everything, excuses for everything, I would like to warn you. In the day of judgment, we will see whether that is actually an acceptable excuse or not. To me, those sisters who have 10 children, they should be here telling the world what they want with their society, because they have 10 beautiful children that they need to let go to the society. You don't leave the leadership to those who single, most with due respect to those single sisters. I'm going back to your question, Azita. But it is us who have the need. That change your mind 180 degrees? Every time you say, my family, you know, among the sisters, if there's something, some project, then the single sisters lah, because they do not have anything. Look, the single sisters have their family too. What makes you think you are the only one who have families? Okay, sisters, I have my children, I cannot come usrah today because, my son is having 2/8 and my husband just come back from outstation. Now, that's a valid reason, yes. But is it every time that is? Okay, so, alright. Now, to you, Azita, I'm sorry, Shazni, maybe we need to meet sometime. Yeah, Shazni, Azita, your question is, what are you going to do with single women, yeah? Look, sisters, I just said just now, you can be the best, highly potential person without a man. And because we know that Maryam, is a good example of that. But don't close your heart for marriage. Pray to Allah. Look in the Quran, An-Nur verses 26. Yeah? Al-khabithat lil-khabithin wal-khabithun lil-khabithat. At-tayyibat lit-tayyibin. At-tayyibun lit-tayyibat. When I was 23, most probably, I start to see more my friends are getting, their life partners. And I said, who's going to get married to me, I'm sure the brothers are scared stiff of me, I scared them out of their wits, okay? But I asked my father, my late father said, look at the Quran. See, it's the Quran again. Allah has promised you, if you become a tayyibat, He will send you the tayyibin. I couldn't find the tayyibin for you, but I have trained you how to be a tayyibat. Be a tayyibat day by day, and that tayyibin will come to you. 11 months after that. But I pray for that tayyibin every day. He's still my tayyibin today, insyaAllah. But I prayed for him. Sisters, pray for your tayyibin. You are not hopeless. Where is this tayyibin? I do not know. But if you are a tayyibat, Allah promised you that He is going to send you down. But you are so, I don't know, yeah. When my husband actually requested, it was matchmaking. I had all his data in an envelope. But that day I said, okay, whoever is in this envelope is going to be my husband. So when I opened it up, the photo drops, and I had a palpitation, yeah. But I'm going to marry him anyway. He might be, having just one eye or 3 legs or whatever. When I look, oh, he's good looking. Well, how do I see it as a good looking? Because Allah makes me, and beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. He might be the ugliest man on earth, but to me, he's the most beautiful. I don't want a Brad Pitt most probably, and had all women fighting for him. Well, and I'm sure I am also beautiful for him because I'm his tayyibat. Come on, sisters, get out on there. Ask it from Allah because He's the one who provides. Okay. There's 2 more questions. Norish, you're asking about what was it? Right. Okay. Again, I just mentioned that. You have to really know that you are special. We are beautiful, ladies. Allah loves us. Allah loves us for what we are. So please, do me a favor. Love yourself first. Finally, I think there's a question about the divorce. Akmal was asking that. Well, that's another topic most probably. But I've just been given this topic. But put it this way, you can call it midlife crisis, menopause, andropause, whatever. But Allah has said that if you have sakina, which come from mawaddah and rahmah, it's not enough to just name your 3 girls that name. I have sakina, mawaddah, and rahmah. No. But what is mawaddah? Well, mawaddah is that passion, that lust, that desire. But you don't have that all the time. Towards the end, when you're reaching that age, that is going to be strengthened by rahmah. You have this feeling of, mercy and gentleness and thankfulness that all these years, this man has put up for you. All your shortcomings and everything. So sisters, actually, if you live by Allah, we do not have much problem, do we? I guess when we want to put everything into our hands, that is the day when you start in the path of difficulties. Yeah, so I guess that's all. We can talk and talk and talk. Yeah, but I'm sure. Yeah, I don't want to encroach into other people's time. Just to mention to you, when I was giving this lecture to IIUM student, International Islamic, on the family health management, they are brothers from Chad, Sudan, Niger, Somalia, and I was like, oh my God, you know. But suddenly they just come and say, Sister Harlina, please come to my country and talk to our women and our men. So I would love to do that. Yeah? So just pray, sister, inshallah, that we will going to, speak our mind, silent no more, because we just have to take our place in this society. Wallahu a'lam wa billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.